Alright, welcome to episode 71 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today I am looking at a sequence from the film Tekkonkinkreet, which apparently means reinforced concrete in Japanese. This is a sequence where White is being chased by a couple of goons.
5時まであとどれぐらいあるしろ
全然聞こえねえんだなこれが
言ったとしろなあもう
Some beautiful, phenomenal animation here. This is just wonderful stuff. So first let's look at this silhouette we have in the foreground here with the bus. It's basically a static shape in the foreground. And we have white and black riding on top of it. White's on the left, black's on the right. You see the perspective there. We have all of these 3D, three-dimensionally created buildings and street and vehicles. And so white and black are just having a conversation on the top of this bus, like it's completely normal. This is just their life. They're, they're young kids. You got this fabric flowing in the wind there. Just really subtle, nice stuff going on. But yeah, this is their life. You see how simplified the designs and the faces are. Look how little detail there is there, because that's all that's needed. It's wonderful. We don't want to add more than that. That would just detract from the overall simplicity. Plus, there's just so much information around the entire concept here, the composition, I should say. We got these vehicles, we got the bridge, we got the shadow coming over top of them. There's just so much visual information coming in. We want something relatively calm and static and still in the foreground to contrast with all of that. So we have a close-up on black here, turning around, yelling at white, "They're coming!" See, the background is still panning past. We have this continuity there. Black and white look out for each other. They're very different characters. White's very innocent, black's very street smart. And you see we've got the handheld camera here to imitate being on top of the bus. And we cut to this shot here. Look at this wonderful background. We're about 6 inches off the ground here based on that. Look at the colors. Look at the lack of black lines in the background. And this goes for the characters as well. You can see these cars are going in opposite directions here, which of course makes sense from a logical point of view, but the visual contrast it creates is just, again, chaos and wonder. And so White's running away here. We see these characters on the left, because they're closest to White, they're all turning and reacting. Characters on the right aren't reacting yet, and that's how it should be. We don't just crowds reacting. The ones on the right aren't reacting because in real life, that's what we would do. If somebody runs past us, you look at them. If somebody runs from the other direction, you're going to take a couple extra seconds. So that's something that, as you're animating this, it might be a temptation to try and animate all of them reacting, but it doesn't make logical sense. So we got the second one there, the third one. Bully kids chasing White around the corner here. And then these ones are reacting again. They're interacting. So anytime you can have a character interacting with the environment, that's a good thing. And that includes other people reacting. It's all making it feel like everybody's part of the same world. Again, just beautiful backgrounds here. You can see the detail again, the colors, the tones, just everything on it. You can see the brush strokes there. Beautiful stuff. This is 2006, so this is a while ago. I mean, this is all very likely done traditionally. Got that one character reacting again, so little detail there, but we could see the mouth open. As the character is coming in, White's going to come into screen. It's going to get more and more covered in shadow there, just to give us a sense of, darkening tones and make it so that the rest of the background sticks out more. Camera's reacting. Ooh, have some camera shake there. Look at the limbs. Look at the faces. Look how stylized and simplified everything is. Just love the designs in this. Fast little guy going over top of the camera here. And again, just the hands that they get are just so appealing and chunky and interesting shapes. Camera shakes again as they run over top of the camera. All right, here I want to go into the background for 30 seconds here. Look at this beautiful, massive background as White's going to be climbing here. This is taking several screenshots together and seeing where White ends up. This is where White ends up at the top here. And you can see this, I mean, I can only imagine how big this background would have been in real life. A couple feet tall, I'm sure. And all the way down, and this is where White is starting out, and we're going to be tracking up with White revealing this background. And the reason I'm able to put all this together, and you can see how lived in it looks, the cars and the bikes, but there's no people around now. We're going to a deserted part of town. This is just the the way 2D animation is made. You have a single background. It's not like a three-dimensional background where the angles are going to change. We had some 3D backgrounds earlier, but this one is just all one piece of background that the character animator is animating on here. Pivoting with the hand on there, swinging up. Look again, look at the lack of detail. Flipping around, just simple shapes representing white here. Getting the colors, getting the chunky polygons, drawn out there. Whoosh! Super high contrast with the timing and the spacing there. If you've ever got, you want to show fast timing, then you can show some increment, huge increment in spacing. As long as it's supported on either side, you can get away with that, and it won't feel like a pop. See how white's pushing hips first here, and then extending the body out. Back flipping up here, clockwise, flipping around. Again, we're panning with the backgrounds the entire time, landing on the sign. Whenever we're moving quickly, the background gets more blurred, as does white. Fabric overlapping here. Look at this shape change. I'm going to compare these two here. It's crouch down, straight up. Crouch down, straight up. Wonderful line of action change there. Oh, and even pushing the line of action further there with the chest reaching forward. The hand's going to grab, pivoting, looping around, getting up there. And again, just look at the beautiful drawing of white there. So simplified and terrific. Hips first, dragging the arms and legs. And again, keep in mind that this is just part of a huge background. We're only looking at a small portion of it up here. Overlapping the arms. Now we're going to go to a relatively static camera here. Background, and we've got a little bit of overlay overlap there. Overlap as we're moving the background versus the overlay. White's going to come in, boom, lands, wonderful silhouette, arms up, landing and overlapping. But white's not going to do the traditional thing here where the arms would come down. White's going to kind of stay up here in this pose. La, and it's just because white is just that kind of unique character, and that's just one more way of showing it. So here we've got the goons looking up. Again, we have a really long background here. They're going to be trailing white. So they're saying, okay, well, we can do what he can do. He can't get away from us. Look at all the wonderful angles here in the design. The elbows, the shoulders, the hands. Again, those fingers, the jawline. Just angular and chunky. Anticipating down, leading with the hips, pushing off with the stick here. So they're going up. These guys are quick and powerful too. They're just showing that they're nothing to be trifled with. I mean, sure, black and white make fools of them, but these guys are pretty tough too for teenage hooligans. Again, beautiful silhouette here. Look at that. You got this basic straight on the bottom, and then all these complex shapes on the rest of the body. Great line of action there, swinging around. Now the one in the foreground is this one is swinging around up top here and going to come to a rest. One in the foreground is going to anticipate down, fast up, while the other one is starting to go slow. We're handing off the ball from here to here. Look at that extreme perspective there, jumping fast, foreshortened body, foreshortened legs, flipping around, line of action, dragging. And as this one's coming to flip around, the orange one, the other one is going to be jumping up there. They're just so agile and quick. They really accentuate that. Again, look at a major shape change here. Look at these two poses, just basically curved to straight. And the same thing here, curved to straight, fast, boom, taking off, going up to the roof. Yeah, it's just such wonderful contrast, and it's all set up really clearly and composed so well against this beautiful background again. Terrific asymmetry. You rarely see any kind of symmetry with these characters. One arm is always doing something different than the other arm. Same with the legs. And the body line of action is always adding extra contrast as well. Crouching on the sign there. And they're going to be jumping up in a second. That's the same sign that White was leaping off of earlier. Yeah, just beautiful backgrounds. These are frameable artworks. And just, again, really simple one-point perspective here. It's nothing too complicated. It's just so appealing. It's just a short sequence from Tekkonkinkreet. It's a dark movie at times. It's a serious movie, but it's just beautiful, and I'm glad I got to see it again recently and pull these clips from it. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you next time. Take care.